Good morning, everyone. It's Connie, and I am live. I've got Moose here with me. He's kind of circling my table, so we'll see how long it is before he gets over here and jumps up or does something crazy. Anyway, so I know I usually go live on Wednesdays at 2 and Fridays at 10 a.m. And tomorrow I am going out of town. I'm going over to the Stamp Expo in Indianapolis area. And I don't want to buy a ton of stuff, but I love to see what all is new and exciting and all of that. So I got my coffee, got my Winnie the Pooh mug. Isn't it cute? I don't know if you can see it, but it's good. Winnie with a balloon. Oh, he's so cute. Anyway, today's a show and tell day. I have some show and tell. And I want to talk a little more about organization and purging stuff, but I have a lot of stuff to show, or what I think is a lot of stuff. So I'm going to get started. The first thing I want to show is this. This is, let me get this out of the way a minute. The product of the month for February is a paper pack, and it is absolutely gorgeous. The name of it is Painted Illusions. You get it for $5. Sorry, I had to look up the name. But for $5, you get this with a $75 purchase, and there's a lot of things to purchase right now. And so I did a stash buster, and I used it up. I'll show you at the end what I had left after I messed around with this, okay? So I made this page. You are going to recognize all of these pages. I have made them all before. They are all close to my heart templates, scrapbooking templates. You know, they had, I don't know, 7 or 8 books of sketches and dimensions and all that kind of thing, and I like to use them once in a while, especially when I'm in a stash bust, a paper pack. So if you see one of these and you're like, hey, what are the dimensions of that, let me know. Just message me. This is a single page. I needed a single page for something which is unusual for me. And so I put it, the color that seems to be in the kit, there's a lot of colors in this kit, but the Misty Moonlight seems to be like the main blue, if you like blue. And so I put it on a Misty Moonlight background, and I used my new flower set that I used the other day. I can't remember the name of it. Hold on. Gosh, I don't know where it is. It's my solid flower set that I used the other day. I used it here. And then this is from the Gears and Texture, these. And I just put a little something on there. It's generic enough. I could use it for almost anything. And that was my idea, making a stash buster, right? Because you really want something that you can use for just about anything. I like to just chop up my paper and make a base page. And then on some things where I'm really not sure what I'm going to use it for, I like to decorate later. So this is another one. This is another sketch that has a giant, it's really a rectangle. It looks like a square. I think it's a rectangle. That goes over 2 pages. I can't remember. 9 1/4 by, well, no, like 9 by 9 1/4. And it's basically, I just followed the sketch. I added a little solid paper. Now this paper, this yellow, I'm not a huge yellow person, but hi Denise, good morning. Hi Barbara. This is the newer color of yellow called Darling Duckling, and it's got a weird greenish cast to it, but I've been using it a lot lately because it really does go with this paper. I tried using brighter yellows and they didn't look as good. And you got to remember too that there's going to be, you know, a photo on here. So it's not so bold in your face, right? And the sketch had this page a little bit different, but I like to use, as you know, 4x4s or 4x6s primarily. And so there's layout 1. Layout 2, I know you've seen me do this one several times. These are traditional close to my heart sketches. Whenever I see other demonstrators from close to my heart doing sketches like these, I'm like, oh yeah, we all grew up with the same group. You can tell. And so what I really love about this one is that it does use a lot of pattern paper. You know, the people who like to hoard paper and not use very much of it, I totally get it, because I'm still hoarding that Easter stripe. But I'm hoarding it to use it on something like this. Like I could totally use that Easter stripe on something like this. I love how it has the big circle. It has a place for the title. I left a gap right here because I really like this paper and I wanted to be able to show it off a little bit. And I really like, I put this on Pretty Peacock, which is... I have been telling you guys now for a while, this is not, it's not that I don't like the color, it's that I rarely use it. I rarely have things that go with it. But here I am. The last couple of paper packs we've had have had a lot of Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock, the teals, and wow, they turn out great. This could be anything. This could be a Disney layout. I'll probably make it into a Disney layout. You guys are always like, show me Disney layouts. Well, here you go. I could have made this into a mouse and it would have looked like a Disney layout or something. But a lot of times what I do is I add like a little punch border at the bottom of little Mickey heads or something, or maybe I put journaling in here. So this is technically where the journaling goes, right here, on the sketch. Although, who cares, right? Put it where you want it. Anyway, I really like this, and the only issue I have with this layout is there are no 4x6 photos on the layout. All the photos are small. That bothers me a little, but I'll get over it. And I do have a lot of around the hotel pictures, and yes, the flower show, those kind of, the scenery, those kind of pictures. I have a lot of those that are really, I could make small because, you know, yay. I'm glad you like them, Sharon. Thank you. Thank you, you guys. That's nice. It's nice that you like them. I'm taking credit for following a sketch. Okay, so then this wavy paper is killer awesome, right? It is the reason this pack shines. And I really wanted to use as much of it as possible, but you know it's overwhelming. All the pattern in this paper is overwhelming. So you have to add some calmness to it by adding some solid. This is the back of one of the waves. And so when I cut this up, this is like one sheet of paper, right? I mean, essentially, it was like I cut these. I think I made these like, I don't know, 3.5 or 4 inches. These are 4 inches. I put a little 1-inch thing at the top, and then a little strip of cardstock to separate them so my eyeballs didn't run together. And then here we go with this ugly darling duckling again. But, you know, like I said, my thought is I can use a 4x6 here instead of a 5x7. I do that a lot. I'll go ahead and follow the sketch and make, I'm trying to reach for my, and then I'll go ahead and put this on here and just have a bigger mat. It doesn't bother me to do that. Sometimes I'll even grab a second color. Like if I want a yellow and a white mat, like I'll put, you know, a white mat down and then put my photo on the top of that, right? So if I'm really not happy with a color, or my photo looks kind of weird with all that yellow around it, I just mat it more. I like these naked layouts. As a matter of fact, I have so many. I'm thinking of selling some of my naked layouts at Daisy Lane. I talked to Karen about it, and you know, some of my layouts, I have so many of them finished like this, where they may not have any titles or anything, but they're generic enough, and people will pay money for those, and I've enjoyed doing them, and I don't always have enough photos for all of them, so I'm considering it. It's one of those things I'm thinking about. Now this one though, do you see the cats at the bottom? That is a new stamp set that I'm going to show you in just a few minutes. Now the other cats, the other things that come from an old Close to My Heart set. I have a lot of cat and dog stamps. They're my favorite. I love them. Of all the places in my drawer, I have a lot of cat and dog stamps. Okay. But I love that. If I had 9 lives, I would spend them with you. And again, I got into my stash. I had some circles I had cut, and I just grabbed them. Nothing special there. Now, my favorite paper in the pack, interestingly, is this blue and green leaf print. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I hope I'm showing these long enough where you could do screenshots during the video, or you could even pause and just cut your pieces and lay out your page, because I really do think that these are very copyable. And you know, Close to My Heart is known for their style, and I grew up on that. Between them and Club Scrap, I have layouts for days. Anyway, so this one basically has, you know, it basically just has 3 strips that go across the page. Cool. And then you just lay out your photos. Now, this kind of layout to me is a little hard because all the photos are vertical, and I often will just make the base of the stripes, and I will clip the 4 photo mats to the layout until I put my pictures on, because I often take landscape pictures. And so sometimes you need to be able to move your mats around. But this one I went ahead and put together because I really wanted to use this Greenery Lane set is a newer set. I will show you the dies for it, but basically the dies cut out the washi tape leaves, okay? And so then you have, I kind of put, I'll put this up close so you can see. I die cut some of the greenery and some of the washi in, you know, that peacock color, the garden green color. Seriously, whatever you got in your stash. There's a lot of greens in here. They tend to be blue or greens or limey greens, and I thought about limey greens. And then I had some leftover ribbon right here, this is from my stash. The sketch has a strip of ribbon that goes all the way across the right page and and about halfway over the left page. And instead of using paper, I used ribbon. This right here is from these little wood pieces are from my stash. It looks crooked, but it's really not. It looks crooked. It's not crooked. I think it's just draping down over my glass mat. Anyway, these little pieces, these chipboard pieces, are from Close to My Heart stash. I have just a few of these little wood chipboard style, paperboard style decorations from Close to My Heart. Not many left. And so I wanted to use up what I had. So I felt good about throwing away what's left. What I have left is like a few little flowers. And I'm like, meh. I don't need those forever. Anyway, so that's where these little pieces came from also. When Stampin' Up! Purchased the patents to a few of the Close to My Heart items, they also bought their laser cut machine that cuts out these paperboard accents. So they do make some in-house now, and so every now and then you see Stampin' Up! That has started coming out with some of those, and I watch for them because they're really quick and easy for pages like that. Okay, and then this one, I think it goes this way. It could go any way you want, right? I mean, look at that. So this is one where I did not attach my photo mats because I wasn't sure how I would use it. Like I said, it goes different ways. This is really nice because I basically matted. Now, here's the Daffodil Delight. Do you see how that yellow, it's different than that Darling Duckling. The Darling Duckling looked nicer, gotta be honest. But this stripe right here is from the mixed in patterns, the mixed up patterns. And I've kind of been hoarding it. I want to use it with the amusement part papers, but it looked so good with this yellow. I just had to add it. And then this is really simple. You can see it's just strips of paper down the page. There's different sizes. There's like 2-inch and 1 1/4 and 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch. And I even grabbed some leftover ribbon out of my stash. For some reason, you know, I was in love with this ribbon right here, and I have used gobs of it, and it looks full. And I don't know why I have so much of it left. It's like I've used it and used it and used it. Ribbon is like that for me. I use gobs and gobs, and I never use a whole spool. Why does that happen? It's like it's never ending. I wish the spools were smaller. I don't need these huge things to store. But it does look really nice on here. Anyway, so I just thought it would be really nice to be able to, you know, lay out photos any way we want. I could have, you know, journaling wherever. You can do anything you want when you know, hold off on your journaling, right? I really like how that looks. And then right here, put a little decoration there. You know, I really think this looks good. I wouldn't have used this yellow except that I used the stripe from my stash. This is what I have left right here. I don't think that's very much. I'm like, wow, I have enough where I could do a scrappy kind of page. You know, the pages where you have little squares. And if I wouldn't have run out of time, I probably would have. I might yet put something like that together. Just, the other thought I had was to put together some cards, you know, just, oh, speaking of that, I do have some cards that I made using this paper. The reason I have such weird little scraps is because I did make some card bases. I'm not sure where hold on, they're probably in a pile. I'll find them. I'll find them in just a moment and I'll show them to you. In the meantime, oh, before I show you this, I want to show you, no, I'll show you this first. Okay, so this scrapbook workshop is from the January release, and it looks so bland. I gotta be honest. This was my least favorite of all of them. I'm going to show these kind of up close because I did a little altering on a couple of these, but for the most part, I use them. So there's layout 1. It's beautiful. It's just a little, I don't know, plain. I feel like it needs a color, another color. I don't know what it needs. I don't know. And then there's this one. Again, lots of empty space. That drives me crazy. I can't have too much empty space. You've seen my layouts. I have a lot of photos on them. Typically, I add a lot of photos. Whenever I see white blank space, I add another picture. I just can't help it. Or I decorate more. One of the two. So all this empty space in here makes me think, no, no, no. And this is a really basic layout. To me, it's like, this is something I would just make. It's got a strip, I just made it, actually. It's got 2 strips here with the thing. Yeah, I would just do that differently. So I created this layout. This is what I have left over after I did the workshop. I cut the pieces exactly how the workshop showed, okay? I have this whole, all right, these stickers are all gone. I'll probably chop that off. Those are gone. But look at all the stickers I have left. That's quite a few. I think I could do something fun with those. And then paper-wise, I have a lot. I have this full sheet, which I don't know if they did that on purpose, making it so that you had a full sheet of cut-aparts left where you could reuse your parts, you know, for cards or on your layouts or whatever. I don't know if they did that on purpose or what, but I have that. I have cardstock left, and it's 2-sided, which is really nice. This pattern, which I absolutely love. I love this little floral. I love the Secret Sea blue. Can't go wrong. I had quite a bit of it left. And I had strips of other papers. Do you see how that is? That S is something I cut out that I ended up not using. I think I had enough to do easily another layout. This family, I kind of saved it thinking I might do another layout. I mean, look how pretty those colors are together. I could easily do one of those strip layouts. I may. If I do, I'll put a photo of it on. Maybe I'll do that today real quick. Because I was like, gosh, after I did the whole workshop, you know, it takes me a couple hours to do an entire workshop. I was kind of tired. I was like, all right, I'm done with this paper for a while. Okay, so the first layout, here's my version. I did not change it up very much. If you look at this page and this picture, it's essentially the same, except I added more pictures. I added journaling. I moved over some of the embellishments just a little. Like I moved around just a few things, but for the most part, it's the same layout. I added flip-flaps. This one I got crooked. I had to do a big layout on Homecoming restaurant in Disney because Steve and I, this is a weird story, but Steve and I met Art Smith and his spouse at the Polynesian a few years ago. Like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. Oh my gosh. And we hung out just a little bit. Art gave us his phone number and told us to call when next time we were in Orlando, and he would try to get down here to hang out with us again. And then we called him before we went on this trip, and he couldn't make it. It was during the Food and Wine Festival. Disney's really changed how they do their chefs at the Food and Wine Festival. And so Art couldn't make it, but he helped us at his restaurant, like, get reservations and make sure that, and told us what to order and everything. Told us his stories, which was really nice. Anyway, so here is layout 2. Here is my layout 2. You can see the basic is the same. You can see I did this the same. I left off this little square, and instead I put more pictures, bigger pictures on. Not more pictures, just bigger. Like here they have 3 pictures, and they're very nice. And I really liked how that circle showed up. I needed more space, so that's why I changed that one up. You can see why I changed that, right? Okay, layout 2. Am I going too slow? Should I speed up on these? Layout 2, this is the boring one. And I think I did the same thing. By adding more photos and altering just a little, I turned it into more my style. So I did the same strips, I did all of that, but here's that circle, here's that flower, all the same. This I cut out of the white. I didn't like the whole card on there. I just cut out the circle, oval. But this is the same. I just moved it over a little bit. And you can see, otherwise the same. I just added more decorations. This is another Disney layout where Steve and I went to Yak and Yeti, and we did not realize how much we would enjoy it. We had so much fun. Steve has a real way about like getting the waiters to give him or help him pick unusual things on the menu, and it's fun to watch. I'm a boring eater. He is not. But anyway, this is layout 3. I just want to show it to you one more time. It has it's basically a secret C outer with the inner piece being the circles. This one has an outside layer of the crumb cake, and this one does not, but they both have these little sticker borders down here at the bottom. So I essentially did the same thing. I did the outside piece with the crumb cake, the 2 9 circle patterns. Here is the stickers. The difference for me was in the photos. These photos are so tiny, and when you put them on, I had to print them small, and then before you put it on the page, you flip it over and attach your photos to the back so it shows through, and that way you know you're gonna get your photos popping through the way you want. Now they have 4 photos on there, and I really wanted this entire picture of the Grauman Chinese Theater, and so I just wanted all of that and us, and that would not fit in that little circle. And I toyed with making the circle bigger in this corner, and I'm like, that's silly. I'm just gonna put a bigger thing. Now, I added a lot to this. These 2 tickets and the stamps from it are from the new amusement park set. I added a Mickey head. I also added, do you see these little rounds up here? Look. So this is the last year, this was the last year for the Muppet area of the studios, and so I have a space to tell the story, and I have a couple of photos of the Muppet area. It's never been one of my favorite areas of the studio, but I felt the need to say, hey, this was the last time that I could see that. And then these are the big party alphabet. And then this is the smaller alphabet from Stampin' Up. And all I did was use the peach cardstock that came with this kit. I had a lot of leftover. And then I ink blended around the edges. That's why it looks like modeled, sort of. Okay. I hope you like that. Oh, and then these are from the amusement park set. This is from my stash. It was just something, you know how you have like, how I have all that ephemera that's like Disney themed ephemera. I was going to use that all over this page. And then I'm like, no, I kind of like it more subtle, but look, I turned it into a Disney page. So there you go. 3 Disney pages using this Currently Loving set. And I love these pages. I never would have thought I would have loved those pages, but I really do. So these workshops are doing it for me. Okay. Before I show you the online exclusives, I just want to show you some of the cards that I made, and I suspect those other cards are in here. What I used, I started sorting through my food stamps, and I have a lot of breakfast food stamps. It's not a whole collection, but I've got waffles and pancakes and honey bears and bacon and eggs. This one is, this is the Stamps of Life set, which I looked online and it's still available. I seriously considered like not showing it just for the fact that you guys would be like, I can't get it. I love the toast with the bread, all the puns, all that is so fun for me. And so I made a batch of bacon and egg cards. Once upon a time there was bacon, then everyone lived happily ever after. And oh good, Sharon, I'm glad that you have it, and I want to see what you do with it, because it's perfectly fine the way it is. I'm just more of an extra. I feel like I have to add extra, and my pictures are big, and so I really do try to. I guess I could zoom in a little now since I'm, sorry, not trying to make you dizzy, but anyway, I have a lot of bacon and egg cards. I just was I found this little stack of checkered paper, and I'm like, I'm just gonna use it up. I'm tired of storing this stuff. I had it stored with my food because it looks like a picnic table or something. Anyway, so I made a bunch of those, and then I'll send those to JJ or something. And then here's the card bases. I just cut the rest of that green and blue paper I was hoarding into card bases. Excuse me. And I had some of the scale looking paper. The other side of this is a swirl, but I really like this because I sometimes make mermaid, and I have recently been going through my beach and water stamps, and I have a lot of fish. Why do I have fish? I have no idea. You know what? I have like 5 or 6 fishing sets. I don't even fish. No one in my house fishes. Goes fishing, whatever. I don't know why I have so many. So yeah, I have to go through that. Anyways, so I made some card bases. I'm just going to whip up some. I have these really fun, Volkswagen bugs, and make groovy cards using the rainbow thing. I could use the boho vibes rainbow set. I love that. This is perfect for, I've seen this used with so many things, but to me, it looks like scales. And those little darling dinos that just retired recently? I have that set, never got a chance to really use it the way I wanted to, but I was like, oh, that would be so cute on here, right? Make a little dinosaur cards or something. Okay, let me set this aside. Excuse me, Moose. Moose is on my, he is under my feet. It makes it a challenge. Makes it a challenge. Okay. I'm bringing up stuff from my cart to show you. First of all, I just want to say this. I am shocked. I've been going through today, this morning, I pulled out an entire drawer of summer, beach, you know, all the water themed, beach themed, you know, the fish, all of that. I pulled that out this morning. And I'm a little bit like stunned at how many sets I have that I really feel like I can get rid of. There's so many that I have had for years, but I was looking at this. Okay, these are my 4th of July barbecue, just summer barbecue style sets, right? Okay, so this one has like barbecue and the hamburger and the grill, soda pop. I mean, so it's a good grilling one. Then I have this one. Some of you may have this one, remember this one. It was more recent, but it's got a smaller grill, the hot dog and hamburger again, and the banner, which I love because those are big scrapbooking size titles. Then we have this one, which is interesting. It has like things that you stamp. Whenever you see these black images, remember they stamp in the color you use. So, you know, no coloring is amazing. And then the dies that go with it are really fun too. So it has this big oval that makes, like, it cuts this out, but I used it as a grill before. I'll put that away in a minute. And then I have this one, again, a giant, this is very big, giant scrapbooking sized title, lots of little images. And so when the new catalog, the new March online exclusives came out, this showed up. This is in there. This is called BBQ Master. And you know what? I'm in love. And the weird thing is, it's different than all the other ones I have. I'm kind of looking at all of the ones I have. Do I need this? No, I could totally make do, but I couldn't live without it because I like that the titles are big. I like that. So what really sold me on this was the dies. I hope you can see these. So yeah, you have the barbecue that you can cut out, the giant size skewer, and then it has all the little pieces. It has mushrooms and onions and tomatoes and cheese and lettuce and pickles and shrimp and hot dogs and all the things that you can put onto the skewer. This is a flame. And it has these little, has this little mitt. Anyway, has the little, now I have another set that has these, but they're different sized. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to keep them all. I went through and I was like, surely I can purge at least one of these sets, but I kind of love all of these sets. I might be able to purge this one because I haven't used it a lot, but I don't know. I gotta think about it. Anyway, you guys might have a chance. Here's what I did with it. Last night, Steve went to yoga for an hour and a half or so. He goes for about an hour. And while he was gone, I made a couple of cards. So I love this one. You're flipping awesome. I just started die cutting all the pieces to a hamburger. Oh yeah, I didn't put the top bun on. I wondered why I had an extra bun left. That's weird. I need to put that on there. But I thought that was really fun. And then I was going to put a completed hamburger on the inside, which I thought would be really fun. That would be a great thank you, Father's Day, just birthday, anything, right? And then this one, I used the brick embossing, and I just shaded a little black on it to look like smoke. I cut out a little rectangle to look like there was one of those hooks on the wall for all the tools. And I've got to admit, when I cut this out, it was all in black. I cut out this bottom again in silver and just cut it to lay on top of it so it looked like together. All the rest of it I drew on there. And I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to show how I made these tools in a video, because I know that a lot of people would be really uncomfortable with that, but it was a lot easier than you think. But anyway, I think these are so cute. Ah, I'm dying how cute these are. Look at the hamburger, y'all. This is the inside of my card, but look at that. It's adorable. Another set. See, this is the thing. I have other sets, but they don't do this. I'm just dying. I'm like, why? Why can't I purge? Because I fall in love. Now, here's my tip for a set like this that has a lot of little dies. Like, these are not stamps. These are dies. The stamps are not all the little pieces. It drives me a little crazy to do these heavy die cut sets, because pulling out all of the colors that you need, every single thing here is a different color, and there's no stamp to stamp it, right? And you can't exactly just marker everything. You could, not easily though. And so what I did was I found these little pouches. These are like from Tailored Expressions, if you want to buy some. I found these at Daisy Lane. They were dirt cheap, and I just buy a whole bunch of them. That's why there's labels on them that are not mine. But I like to put all the perfect colors of scraps in the envelope and keep it with this set, so that on a whim, I will pull out my set and I will have all the perfect colors. I hate to say it, but that darling duckling is the perfect color for mustard. It is the color of mustard. There is no better color in the arsenal for that. So I'm going to shove my extra scraps in there. The color of ketchup, the color of tomatoes, the color of mushrooms, the perfect hamburger bun is that. It's like vanilla. And I'll show you, when I do that video, I'll show you how I made all those. But I think that one's a great set. That's set number 1. Oh my God. Set number 2 that I had to have, and I had to have it, is this Cutest Crew. Sorry, I'm trying to get all my scraps of paper out of here. So Cutest Crew, let me get down. I'm going to move my camera upwards a little because I keep going off camera. Okay, so the Cutest Crew is adorable. It is, this stamp set is so sweet, and you can see it has, it's one big stamp here, okay? So when you stamp these, it has a whole thing that cuts them out. So you can do them in one color, very little coloring, just a lined image if you want. It's very nice. I like the messages in this a lot. The have a best day, so glad we're friends, happy birthday, just a little hello. This is a perfect size. Any smaller, I hate it. You know, I send a lot of cards for the elderly. I don't want minuscule, little bitty image, you know, fonts. So this is really great for me. The thing that I don't like about this set, okay, I'm just going to say it. These little individual dies, when you cut them out on their own, they're fine. They're not great. They don't have enough. It's like they're fine. Here's one. I'm just going to show that to you. That's what it looks like. I added just a little bit of marker on its back and its nose and its tail. And it's okay. And so it'll work. It's just not the same to me as having the cat with the detail. So I tried putting this die on this image and cutting it out because it matches. It does match. Do you see that? The problem is lining that up is a bear because it cuts out directly on the line. It is hard. And so I did try to do that a couple of times. Here's another one that I did. Boy, that's hard to see. Here's another one that I did of this little dog, of just the die. And I used marker on him, and I did not stamp it. I just die cut it. So it's pretty cute if you do a little work on him. I'm trying to find the one. I think I may have even thrown it away because I hated it so much. But I did one where I did this kind of thing, and then I took the die to try to cut it out, and what it did was it cut out its nose. Do you see how it has a circle right there in the nose? It cut a hole out of his nose. I was like, why? I don't know. So that's my only beef, is that these individual ones I'm on the fence about. I don't understand why it cuts out the nose. I'm a little confused on that. I'm waiting to see. This particular stamp set sold out in the preview. In other words, every single demonstrator in the world bought it. And so I'm waiting for artwork that shows the use of these individual dies, because I haven't seen any yet. I've seen a lot using the full line of stamps. Not a lot with that. Now, I do love that there's bird prints. Remember how I drew my own bird prints the other day? Look at that, bird prints. And dog prints. There's also this really awesome die that will cut out dog prints. And I just saw, when I was hunting around last night for artwork using these, one of the demonstrators had used this part of the paw as a heart. So used the strip on the card and then used the hearts as well. Oh, that was so cute. I was like, okay, that's pretty clever. So I'm going to show you, and you saw the scrapbook layout page that I made with it just being a lined image, no coloring. I just stamped it across as a border. I made a couple of cards to show. Okay, first of all, yesterday you saw this card, right? I love this card so much. I added the little kitties, which are perfect, right? Aren't they cute? Now I fussy cut them. Warning, fussy cutting ahead, because the die did not cut them out properly. I could not get the die to cut these out in a way that looked good. But it took like 2 seconds to cut them out. They're not hard to fussy cut. They look it, they're not. And then I put birds in the trees. I couldn't resist. I wanted some birds in the trees. And I thought, oh my God, those are too cute. I accidentally cut off that bird's head a little bit, but the rest of it was fine. And then after I finished my live yesterday, while I had everything out, and I had a couple of extra white pillows that I had cut out. I don't know why I cut out extras. And I had a couple of extra dogs that I had fussy cut in case I wanted dogs on the other card. And I just used the stamps. This is just the stamps. This is the stamp. It took me, like, I'm not exaggerating, under 10 minutes to make this whole card. The hardest part was trying to decide what color of marker to use. This, I just ink blended. This is a stamp. I'm fast at coloring, but I did a very fast coloring job. Here is how small that message is, sending sunshine. Pretty tiny. But the little dogs are tiny too. So I tried to make one look like Moose, but I gotta be honest, he's too small. He's like a miniature moose. And then I did this one. I wanted to use the whole row of critters, and I feel like I cut off a cat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, because I had fussy cut this cat for the other card, I only had 4 left in the strip, so I just used it. And then here's what I did on this card that made it unique, okay? These are from the dies, so I just ink blended onto a piece of cardstock and then cut those out. These I colored with markers. But you'll notice in the background, I cut it out of white paper. I used a blue marker to color the white so that it would blend in with the sky a little better. The only reason there's that shadow is I popped it up on with foam. I shouldn't have. I should have just made it flat. I don't think it would have showed so much. And then the bottom I colored in green. So there wasn't like a white border. You wouldn't have to do that. But cute, right? Let's see. And then here, I made this one. This is one of my special ones. You know, I love it. I had so much fun making this card. And what I did was I took an 1¼ inch piece of cardstock and my 1-inch paper punch. And then I just kind of tried to center my punch and leave a gap between each one. I just tried to make them as centered as possible, like that. And then I took my scissors and cut like this. And I made a bunch of little Polaroids. Now, you can, you know, if you're crooked, you can trim them down, make them look more Polaroid-ish, right? The best part is then you can take, I just took a strip of white paper and I ink blended a whole bunch of colors on it, and then I put it behind, you know, I just glued it on behind to make it a background. And then I took my little critter and just glued it on there. That's how I made my little mini Polaroids. Aren't they cute? Oh my God, they're so cute. I couldn't resist. Wait till you see the inside. Because I had so many that I got carried away, and I did a couple of strips of these Polaroids. They were so much fun. And they didn't take very long, which is nice. You know, when you get the assembly line going. And then I made the camera. I'm going to show you that set in just a minute. I want to call your attention to the camera and the rays that I ink blended. Just a little hello. And look at these dies. Those are from the camera set. Watch. Wah. So this is one of those spiral cards, the spiral pieces that you put on the inside. Remember, I made a whole bunch of them around Christmas, and I put the Polaroids of the dogs on the spiral card. And look, I put the camera with a ray, have the best day. And I stamped little hearts. That's from the camera set. These little footprints, of course, are the dog and cat set. I just only inked up 2 paw prints instead of the whole thing. I'm seriously considering doing a little surgery to that stamp because it's easier to do these just having 2 individual paws. I can't decide, but isn't it cute? Look, photo op, and looking good. Look at how cute it is, you guys. And then I put some paw prints on the spiral. Again, I think I would have been better off. Easier to stamp with only a couple of feet. I think I might do some stamp surgery on that. But anyway, I love it. And this is just a generic card. Just a little hello. Have the best day. And it would be amazing to put the dogs and cats in there that look like your dogs and cats. I just wanted a variety. You know, I sign my cards a lot with this dog from the line set. And I'll just sign it from Connie and Moose, right? Because it's like his signature. I just love it. I leave it out on my desk all the time because I use it so much. Anyway, this is my voila. I need to do a reel on that one or something. Okay, so there's that. And then, okay, okay, I just want to show you, this is what it looks like. And this is not horrible to fussy cut. You just go around the edge and cut it out. I would color it first because it's a pain to color such a little tiny piece unless you have a sticky mat to stick it to. And I do, and even I am like, I gotta color it first. But there, ta-da. It doesn't have to be like a perfect cut. It doesn't matter if everything is perfectly around it because people are going to notice, you know, the dog. Isn't he cute? I'll show you how I color him sometime. He's really cute. That's my Moose. I have that on my desk. I'm going to leave that on my desk. All right. Oh, camera. Let's move on. Okay. So, I want to show you where I got some things. So this Capturing Smiles set is pretty awesome. By the way, I've been altering my stamp envelopes a little bit because I needed them to be small. I needed them to be the size of my normal envelopes. And I saw a lady online altering these the ones that come with the stamps, and what she did was so genius that this is the case it came with, the envelope it came in, but I messed with it and it took me no time and it was totally worth it. And I really love how I can store the Stampin' Die together. I keep all the packaging together. I'll have to show you that sometime. Anyway, I add a magnet. So obviously, it's hard to see this actual stamps, but you can see they're pretty big. They're bigger. They're a little bigger than what is on the photo. Not by much, but a little bigger. Look at that camera. You are going to see this everywhere because this screams scrapbooking, if anything does, right? And I obviously love this little camera, and I used the photo op and the looking good and the little heart. I used those, This fits in, these fit inside, which is really cute. They're like the perfect size to make like little scenery in here, or you can do your own thing. I wonder if the dog will fit in there. I should have used that. Oh, look, it fits. It's perfect. Okay, so those two sets are made to go together, obviously. We just need to use them together. And look, here's a square that you can cut out and ink blend. And look, boink, boink, boink. Is that a 1-inch square? No, it's smaller. It's like a 7/8 by 7/8 inch square. It's very small. Anyway, so the camera has layers. You know how you can do a, I'll play with this. And look online, it has layers to make the camera more dimensional. Wow. It's just really cool. I have a couple of sets that have cameras in them. None are like this. I'm very happy with this. I expect this to sell out in a minute. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this was gone in the first couple of days and we had to wait another month for it. I wouldn't be shocked even a little if this one sold out that fast. It's just very popular. I'm surprised it didn't sell. I'm surprised the Cutest Critter thing sold out before this. We'll just say that. Okay. I pulled out this boardwalk fun because I just wanted to show you, I did use this little thing on that camera card. I just want to show you, oh, I used this on my tickets on my layout. And then the dies, I used these on my layout. I used these on that critter card. Here's the ticket that I used. I have a lot of stamp sets that have tickets. I'm surprised how many tickets I have. But I don't want to pull a ticket out and separate it from my set. So I have a lot of them. But this is really cute. I know I haven't played with this with you yet, but this makes the little cars that fit on here. It's going to be fun. And, you know, it's not part of the March release, but I used it anyway. It was part of, it's new. It's from January. Sorry, I just can't stop opening this card. Wouldn't you love to get one of these? I gotta make a bunch of those. Those are really fun. Okay. Another set I did not need. Why did I buy it? I just went through all my water and I have two other sets that do something like this. This little handout doesn't have the artwork in it to show what this does. I wish I would have I need to make a card with it and show you. But basically what I loved about it, the reason I bought it is because it has these cool beach umbrellas. I love those beach pages that have the, who was it that came out with this? Was it Honeybee Stamps or Hero Art? Anyway, somebody came out last year with all the beach umbrellas and they put them on a card and it was so cute. The dies are so good and it's tropical. Hi, Sally. Oh my gosh. Did you get snow? We got snow last night. Steve had to scrape windows this morning. It was icy and snowy this morning, but it's all melted now, except for in the shade, you know, it's not bad. Anyway, so this is an interesting set. It does have some seashells, which I am finding I have a lot of seashell stamps. None of them this small. But that's not why you buy this set. The reason you buy this set is it's a cool layer. So like you have the blue ocean with, you know, the white foam. Do you see how those will layer? So this would be like, you would have like blue ocean water. This would be like lighter blue, and then this would be like even lighter. And then you have another layer that's even, like this one would be white. So you can see that it's hard to envision when you look at the dies what this does, but when you look at the finished product, OMG. And I'm dying to use this like on a layout or something. My issue, of course, is that I don't have very many beachy layouts anymore. We kind of quit going to the beach so often. We used to go every year. And so all my beach photos are pretty much done. I have a lot of Disney ones, Florida ones that I think would look fabulous. 24 degrees, nice and warm. Let's see. Need 4 more feet. Oh yeah, we have a big drought here. We're in the high level, red level drought here. They want us to get a lot of rain this summer. I would rather have a lot of snow than a lot of rain, because you know us and storms. Yikes. Our storm, it never just rains anymore. It's got to be dramatic and crazy. Anyway, so this set is really cool. I have one die set that does this exact same layering thing, and I don't know who makes it. But this one, in some ways, this one is better because it's bigger. It's not just made for a 4x4 card. This one is actually big enough to use on a scrapbook page. The other one would be a lot more work. Yeah, I guess I do. I guess. I need to lose more weight. All right, let's see. Let's talk about gardening. So you can see on the front, this little canning jar. I did not buy this. This is huge. Think gingerbread man huge. This is like a full-sized card size. This is big. And it is so cute. Heather made one. You're going to have to post that picture, Heather, of a jar, and she ink blended it to look like it was full of honey, and then she put some of the bees around it. Oh, that's so cute. A jelly jar. This set is really cool. Now, this is one, there's 2 stamp sets, or 2 stamp and die sets that go with this. The one that has the jar I did not buy. I was worried I wouldn't use it. I don't know. Now I'm like, oh, I'm on the fence. The second one is this one. Okay. I bought it. It's huge. It's huge. Okay. Now the stamps are this. I accidentally bought this twice. What happened was, no, I bought this twice. I put this in my cart separately, and then I put this in my cart as a bundle. Why did I do that? And I didn't realize I had put this in there twice, so I ended up with 2 of these. That's how I got 2 of everything. It does not come with 2 of everything, but I kind of decided to keep them. That sports set is so cool. I'll show you in just a sec. So here's that Lovely Day. I used that on Lovely Day Together. This is what I used on one of those layouts as my title, just so you could kind of get an idea of how big it is. I love the little bee, and the little flowers, and the top. This stamps all as one, and then these stamp on it, like it matches, like it's supposed to match it. All right. So what I did, I'm so dumb. Anyway, so this is why I have 2. So it has this Gigantor. The only thing I can think to use for this is much bigger than any recipe box I have. This thing is 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. Now, what do we know that needs that size? Well, photos. Right? And so the only thing I can think of to use this for is photo mats. You could make a mini album with this. I have two because I accidentally bought it twice. I decided I was going to sell one, and I decided I'm going to keep it. Then there's the smaller size, which is, it's like 4 1/4 by, this is like 4 1/4 by 3 1/2 without the tab. And then it has a 1/2 inch tab. That's kind of how this is too. And then there's a cluster of grapes or blackberries, right? Not grapes, blackberry. There's a cherry and blueberries. And remember, you only get one of each of these crazy things. I just put them all together. So you get a strawberry with a topper, 2 different toppers. You get the lime, lemon, orange with the rind. You get the peach. You know, I don't can, I don't bake, I don't I don't even really bake much anymore. Me trying to lose weight, it's dangerous for me to bake. I love it, but I pig out. Oh, cantaloupe, very smart. Yep, cantaloupe. These little pieces in here are, I think they're supposed to be blueberries. I haven't cut them out to be sure, but there are a lot of things here in this set. So I think these flowers come with the actual canning stamp set. Let me look here. Yeah. So here's the actual canning stamp set. All right. Zoom, zoom. It says, "You're the sweetest." There's blueberries, a heart, a strawberry. Look, see the dies next to it? Filled with sweetness dies. Okay, those are, I love all the options for the label or a little tag. Look at that. This right there, that little thing is like a string for around the top and a bow. Oh, that's so cute. That is so cute. I don't know. And then there's like a whole suite that you could buy the whole suite. Look at that. Oh my God. It's so cute. So these are coming out like March 3rd. Okay. Like the first Tuesday. I have no idea if I'm supposed to show you this book. A lot of demonstrators are showing, here's the one Sally was asking about. I did not buy this because I have scrapbooked all of my daughter's tennis sport events. I don't really have any other photos to do, or I would have bought this in a minute because I think this would translate to tennis, pickleball, football, soccer. I think this would translate to almost anything. The papers, there's been several people online who have flipped through the papers, and I'm like, oh, some of them are generic enough. You could use them for anything green. You know what I mean? Anything that goes with green. Some of them are very sport related. So, I love this. I love this so much. It makes me wish I knew someone who played soccer. Oh my gosh, I would love that. It's so much fun. Now, these stars are not the small stars like, yeah, that net is cool. I was trying to think of what else I could use it for because I want it so badly, but I just can't. I just can't. The grass, it has little tufts of grass. It has the long line of grass. You know, I love that. These stars are bigger. These stars are like those like 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch stars. They're bigger than the Halloween ones. The Halloween ones were really small in comparison. Oh, yeah. I think they did this one because the World Cup, you know, is this year, and I happen to have family who are very much into the World Cup. Now, weirdly enough, I bought everything on this page. I bought several things on this page. I bought a couple things on that page. I mean, it is really hard because I literally like almost everything from this whole set. Now, what I don't like, what I didn't buy, I did not buy that wishing well. It's so cute, and I can think of a million puns. Oh my gosh, it's just a little too realistic looking. I don't know. Yeah, it's a little too storybook realistic for what the style I do, and so I'm like, I did not buy these landscapes. I've learned those landscapes, I don't use them like I thought I would. Now, the farm is tempting me, but I did not buy them. Okay, let me show you what else I did buy, though. Okay, so that's this set. I need to put this away. Weirdly enough, the freaking dies, there's so many dies that it's like a challenge to get these put away. So let me just slide those in after the live. Help me grow. I wasn't going to buy this, but I do actually do a lot of flower planting. I really like, there's a few things I love. I love that these are all the tools and these are optional handles. The messages I won't probably use other than hello. Love you bunches, maybe. I really like that this looks like dirt. But the dies, again, the dies are great. Dang it. Why? Look at the dirt. Oh, I love it. You know, I hand make dirt all the time. It's so great to have this. And then look at the plant. You can put plants in the, you can cut multiple of those. You could, this looks to me almost like carrots. Like you could have these coming out of the garden or out of your plant. They have the tools that you could cut out in silver, like the spade, or rusty. Oh, that'd be interesting. Remember those like copper, the little copper plant tags that people use? I know, Sally. The dies are so good. They're so good. And look, there's even a little tag thing that goes on the handles. What? Dang it. I had to add an extra magnet because there's so many. It didn't fit on one magnet. I tried every puzzle arrangement I could to make them all fit on one. I'm happy that there are flower bunches to put in the pot because that's my gig, right? I do a lot of flowers. I have grown a lot of herbs, but I found that I don't use enough to grow them. Like they went crazy. I had basil I was giving it away to all my neighbors and oh my gosh. They were like, again? Okay. Ready, set, go. Okay, this is no dies. This is just the stamps, but holy moly, are those good. And these are big enough for cards or scrapbooks. The words are all good. You know I own a lot of cars, and this is different than all the others. Now, I had Steve vet this. I had to have him look at it because, honest to God, if I bought a car that did not look correct, he would not have wanted me to use it on his page. He would not have let me put his race car pictures on a page that had a race car that didn't look correct. So I had him look at it. I know, I own so many. Yeah, I wish these were bigger. I love the Ready, Set, Go. I wish it was a lot bigger. And I don't understand why. They had room to make this bigger. I mean, look how small that stamp set is. They easily could have and made that a lot larger. And I wish they would have. And like the little checkered flags could have, I think they tried to make that more scale, but I would have liked those to be larger. I have that one Close to My Heart set that has the checkered flags. That's really good. But these are really good. Of course I bought them. He said these are old, what did he say? NASCAR. I think he said they're old NASCAR. I don't think they're Formula One. He said whatever they are, they're the older model of them. Like they no longer, you don't see these little spokes on the wheels anymore. I was like, okay, Steve, I'm buying it. Whatever, dude. Anyway, I'm using it. I don't care. And yeah. It's a little bit of a missed opportunity on Stampin' Up part. And on the other hand, I'm so thrilled to have it. Okay, this is one of my favorites. I can't believe I haven't made like 100 cards with this yet. I love moon and space, and I like the stamps. I'm not into space and the moon. I just like to make cards with this theme, and I have 2 or 3 other sets that have moons and stars and planets and stuff. I think you guys have seen me. I remember a few years ago I made that light up card with the different planets. I think that was a Close to My Heart set, where you push the button and it lights up. This one is screaming to me to be a slider where the rocket and the man go around the moon. I am dying to use this set. You have no idea. I have been waiting because I have so many other things I've been wanting to do, right? Gosh, I love it. Okay. The last thing I think I want to show you is this one. So this right here, sorry, I have my thing in the way. I don't want you to, I always put a little tag in there of when it was released so I can remember, because I don't remember ever. This set right here, if you participate in the virtual card making event, this is the set we got for that event, and we made a lot of cards using this set. And so I left it in the original envelope. You can see the envelopes. I want to show you, okay, like here's an envelope I altered, and here's the way it comes. So you can basically see that I cut off 1.5 inches at the bottom to make it the same size as like the DVD cases and the other. I'll show you, someday I'll show you how I did that, because the lady who showed this, she did a video on it. It was great. I was like, all right, I'm doing it. It'll save me money. Anyway, so this is, what I like about, I like that these are nice big messages. I'm not as crazy about this, but I love that the messages are big. The winner here, of course, is the dies. Now they've been knocking out of the park with these dies. Okay, you can tell I've used them. I don't always clean out my dies. Yeah. Anyway, this makes a very awesome background for a die, and it does not cut out the outer edge. So what you can do is you can cut a piece of paper. You can take a piece of paper or a panel. Let me just grab something. I have so many panels. All right. Sorry, I wouldn't use this one normally, but like you could lay this onto a panel, cut that out, and it would have like a florally border like this. It's really pretty. So let me show you a couple of cards we made in the card thing. Okay, so here's one that is like, I cut the edges off. And do you see how it left it kind of loose on the edges? I really like that. And then this, look, there's 3 different sizes. 1, 2, 3 different sizes of these message pieces. And we used this middle one on a lot of cards, which I'm thinking, you know, I was considering selling this and getting rid of it, but I'm considering keeping it just for the dies, if nothing else. Because I mean, I've already paid for it. So one of the things that I've started doing for the sets that I don't think I'm gonna sell in the future is I've started pulling out some of the things that I would use every day out of, like this right here. I would use this all the time, but I need to store it not with this set. I need to store this with my background dies so that when I'm flipping through my background dies, this is an option, right? That I remember that I have it. There's a lot of dies that are layering that I feel that way about, that I've pulled out. You know, some of those other layering dies, I like to store them all together so that when I look at my options for messages, I have a lot of them. Did it freeze? My end is not frozen. Yesterday I had freezing. Today I do not, or I have not yet. So let me know, you guys, if it's freezing up. One thing is when you watch the replay, it's never frozen. It just keeps going. So it's a weird thing. It's like recording. The other thing that we did a lot of, we use this cluster right here on a lot of cards. And so here's one where we use that cluster a couple of times. Here's that middle die. And then here is, you can see that background like this. And it was just partially used. It's a good thing I'm almost done if we're freezing. There you go. All right. That is all that I had to show you today. I will not be live tomorrow. I am sorting through my batches of crazy cards and stuff. If there's something you want to see more of or something you want to talk about with storage or organization, gosh, let me know because I'm all up in it. If you need DVD cases or envelopes, the old envelopes that Close to My, or Stampin' Up had, the ones that dies came in, I have gobs and gobs and gobs of them. And the DVD cases I'll sell, but the envelopes I'll give away. If you want them, they're yours. So just let me know if you're interested in any of that, and I'll see what I have left. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good day.